Hi, it's Simon from Southern Ontario in Canada. I thought I'd shoot a short series of videos in the style of Stephen Hayes of the UK, who's been showing the world what he's been doing with his orchards, where he's been preserving some heritage fruits. I really encourage you to watch those videos. He's incredibly informative, and he's got a great manner, so you'll learn a lot from him. And I think I've been learning from him. I haven't had a chance to apply too much, but what I thought I would do is shoot some videos in the style of Stephen, to see whether we can figure out whether those techniques apply here in Southern Ontario, how well they apply to an experienced person like myself. Now, what I'm going to be doing is taking some Scion wood today for some later grafting, and you're supposed to do that when the plant is still dormant. Now, I'm a bit of a challenge. It's been about a week after Valentine's Day. It's been 8, 9, 10 degrees Celsius. Today it's almost 11 degrees. It's not even noon. So I realized I should probably get out here and take some of this wood and get it in the fridge before any more action comes, although they do predict that it will be a little bit colder in the upcoming weeks. I'm going to be taking some cuttings from some apple trees, but if you don't believe how mild it is, you should take a look at some of these cherry trees here, and you can really see how aggressively the buds are coming out. And perhaps you'll agree with me that it's probably time to take those cuttings now. All right, I'm going to try to take some cuttings from last year's growth on these lower varieties, which produce the best apples that come off of this tree, but by no means are growing well or even as productive as they could be, I suspect, given the amount of sun that they get or don't get. So let's take a look. All right, this looks like last year's growth to me. Actually, it looks like a nice branch, which I'm so tempted to leave on, because I do think this produces the best apple on the tree. Yeah, maybe I'll leave that one on this year. I'm going to save the upper bits for the Scions I'll be grafting on later. Yeah, there's some growth I can trim. Some that's going to interfere over there with some of the grapes I have growing up against the fence as well. So I got my clippers here. I'm going to take a piece out of this piece of wood here, which is last year's growth, and it's quite thin, but it looks exactly like the pencil-sized pieces of wood that people recommend. And there's another bit here, and this variety has always been interesting, but I think I'll leave that one. And I think I will also take the very short ones from down here, which are growing in a suboptimal location. Wow. I don't think I got this any too soon. I don't know if you can see how green that wood is. Lots of wildlife this winter. These squirrels are not shy at all. This other tree has been growing kind of wild. I've done some pretty heavy pruning on it already to try to see if I could cull back the variety that grows very vigorously and unproductively in favor of these other varietals here, which I don't even know what they are. It's one of these 5-in-1 type grafting things. There was no tags on them when I got it, so I'm not really sure what it is that is growing there. Maybe one day somebody will be able to see some of these videos and tell me what they are, if there's some apples growing. So I know that proper pruning practices have you trimming in such a way to let light in and to avoid cross growth. But there's so little growth on here, and I'm so terrified of doing the wrong thing. I think in the past I've been reluctant to prune. But this is one of the varieties I'd like to see some more action on. It's got some pretty vigorous growth from last year. This looks pretty good. I'm going to see if I can't take my Scion cuttings probably from this piece here and this piece here, and then if I do some top working later, I'll either graft them on into maybe a trimmed down version of this stump here, maybe even do a saddle graft onto this nice vigorous piece of the tree that doesn't do anything for me at all. All right, so let's do that. I promised some of the guys at work that when I do my spring pollination ritual, I would film that as well. And they've asked me if I would wear a yellow and black striped shirt and speed it up, and you know, we'll see what I can do. With these Scions now that I've got them, well, just using a simple plastic bag like this, preferably one that's nice and tight, so any fruit that might be in the fridge outgassing ethylene isn't a problem, and basically popping them in the bag. Now this cutting looks like it's a little too long. I intended when I grafted this one to do this trimming anyway, but I'll go ahead and cut that. Whoops, I dropped it. And pop these in the bag. And I'll keep these separate from the ones I might get from elsewhere. And I'm going to label these. Backyard, BY, and I'm going to pop those in the fridge. Here they go in the fridge. I'm going to put up on the top shelf where I keep all this kind of weirdness. And my very tolerant wife will know not to throw that out.